I'm telling you guys, everything that you hate about yourself, and we all have things going on in lives that we need to overcome, right? Most people do. Is there anyone here who don't have something in your life you need to overcome? So everybody has something, right? Turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7. Start with verse 7, I think there. Oh, let me just tell you, this is Paul. He wrote a letter to the Corinthians, the church at Corinthians, and very interesting stuff. Very interesting. And this is going to help you guys who are weak. And I have this the New Jerusalem Bible that someone gave me. That's the Bible, by the way. And, you know, the Bible's the Bible, I guess. But this one says in a way that I can understand it. It says that, wherefore, so that I should not get above myself, I was given a thorn in the flesh, a messenger from Satan to better me and prevent me from getting above myself, you know, from being like an ego-driven kind of person. This is why you can't really judge anyone else, because everybody have a thorn in their side. And the problem is that a lot of people are upset about this thorn in their side. You're mad, you hate yourself for having whatever issue it is that you have to deal with. You know, you want to be a good Christian, you want to be perfect, and we should become perfect. But the problem is you have this thorn in your side and you're angry about it. And as a result of being upset about it, you cannot overcome it. But if you can realize that it's just there and not be mad about it and just see it for what it is, then you can be made strong. But you're trying to make yourself strong by being upset about whatever it is that you're trying to overcome. Whether it's an angry person or a liar or a thief or alcoholic or whatever. And if you notice, most people are mad. Most of you are angry about the things you can't overcome. You're frustrated by it. Isn't that true? But if you can accept it and not be frustrated, then you can overcome. Because in your weakness, you realize that there's nothing I can do about this. Paul realized that he had this thing. I think I know what Paul's problem was, too. I was thinking about this last night. I don't know, but I think I know. I'm not going to tell you his personal business, but I think I know what the issue was with Paul. But the thing that he realized, he stopped being frustrated about it and realized that there's nothing he can do about it. This thing had made a home in him. Why be mad about something you have? No, I'm weak to this. I can't change myself. The moment you can clearly realize that and just allow it to be, that's when you shall be made strong. But your ego won't let you accept whatever it is that's inside of you. Have you noticed that? And that's why everybody running around so angry, ready to kill somebody. But anyway, a messenger from Satan to better me and prevent me from getting above myself. About this, I have 3 times pleaded with the Lord that it might leave me. How many times have you asked God, take this away from me? And then it looked like he'd take it away for a while, and then you go riding along, and all of a sudden it's there again. And you want to kill yourself and forget about God. Have you gone through that? Yes. Isn't that something? We all go through the same things. And the reason that we are going through it in that manner, because we've been taught the wrong thing about it. And that's what the problem is. If we have been taught the right way about these things that we have to overcome, we would not be going through it in the manner that we are. I have 3 times pleaded with the Lord that it might leave me, but he has answered me. My grace is enough for you, for power is at full stretch in weakness. And I bet you I can't find one person on earth other than Jesse who knows that when you're weak, that's when you have the greatest power. Because you think that when you're strong, you have power, and you don't. It's when you're weak, that's when you have power. My grace is enough for you, for power is at its full stretch in weakness. It is then about my weaknesses that I am happiest of all to boast. So that, man, most people won't boast about their weakness. Most people want to lie and pretend that they're strong. Have you noticed that? Yeah. They'd rather lie and pretend they're something that they're not thinking that that's going to make them that way, rather than to admit what they are. Let me see. It is then about my weaknesses is that I am happiest of all to boast, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. And that is why I am glad of weaknesses, insults, constraints, persecution, and distress for Christ's sake. For it is when I am weak that I am strong. I can give you examples of that in my life. A lot of times I'm doing debates with people, and I'm just telling the truth about what's happening, and they get mad at me because they can't prove the truth to be a lie, and they'll start attacking me. Well, you don't know English. You can't speak well. And I'm thinking to myself, and sometimes I say, I know that. Tell me something about myself I don't know. You know, what about what I'm saying? Is that true or not? But if I was angry about my weaknesses and all involved in them, then I would take those things personal, because I would want to present myself as being strong and being prideful and something I'm not, and I wouldn't be able to function. But I can clearly see my weaknesses, and I'm okay with it. And when I say I'm okay with it, I don't want to be that way. I don't want it, but it's the way that it is, and there's nothing I can do about it. And God's grace is sufficient. It really is. And if you just can know this in your spirit, and then get rid of these ideas that you got to present yourself as strong, a fake strength, and then hate yourself for not being, if you can re-educate yourself from within, then you can be free. Because you will have no frustration. You will just relax and live your life. But we've been taught the other way. You got to act strong. You got to pretend you're something that you're not. Otherwise, if you're weak, then people are going to take advantage of you. It's the other way around. When you think you're strong is when people take advantage of you. Have you noticed that? Because they'll come in and they'll say, oh, you're a strong person. You know, I really like your strength. And you believe that lie, and they can get whatever they want from you. Have you noticed that? Yes, sir.
So does that make you strong? That you know your weaknesses?
Yes. And I didn't make myself know this. It's like 20 years when God allowed me to see myself. He allowed me to see my weaknesses, and I also realized that there was nothing I could do about it. Prior to that, I had been mad about myself. I wanted to change. I wanted to be that Christian that you read about in the Bible. But I didn't know that I should not hate this thing that the devil has put upon me. I didn't know I should, I didn't know. And then I didn't know that I couldn't change it. I was trying to change it. So I hated myself for not changing. And then, but when he allowed me to see that there's nothing you can do about it, it is what it is, then that's when I've been made strong. Now, I don't feel strong, but I also don't feel weak either. I just see who I am. I see what's going on with me, and I don't have an issue with it because I can't change it. And that's what makes me strong. Because if someone says something about me, if it's true, oh yeah, that's true. But people who think that they're strong or upset about being weak, they'll get upset if you point out what's wrong with them. Have you noticed that? Because they have a false image of themselves. They've been taught to be that way. You're never going to be free like that. You got to reverse your thinking. You've been taught in the wrong manner. And that's why you're suffering unnecessarily. And God loves us. I mean, he didn't create us just so he can have fun making a fool out of us. He wants to take care of us. His grace is sufficient for us. It really is, but you got to experience it from within. You got to know it for yourself. You've been brainwashed. And if you knew this, you wouldn't have to be smoking drugs, getting drunk, having sex. If you can accept who you really are, there's nothing to run away from. But if you don't accept it, you're always on the run trying to put up a false image. Did I see a hand somewhere? Yes, ma'am.
So if you're not strong with your kids, you shouldn't try to be?
Yes. Yeah. If you're not strong with them, don't try to be, because that type of strength is going to come from a different source, a different place, and it's going to create more problems. Because now you're pulling it out of hell. You're pulling this false sense of strength out of your pride and out of your ego, because you see you need to be strong, so you're trying to put a fake one, and the kids know that that's not real. And they'll end up rebelling, resenting you for it. You'll recreate them in your image. You got to let yourself be weak. And so how many people here have a thorn in your side? Everybody. And their mama. What's your thorn in your side? I think you've already said it.
Yeah.
What's that?
I just have a weakness. I mean, I see it coming, but I know better. I could
You just don't have love for anybody.
shut up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just, it's just when I just fly off the handle and I just see them,
Yeah. But see, what you need to realize, no man, no woman have love. Every man and woman's heart is wicked. They don't have love. And so if you can accept, you know what, I don't have love. I have hatred in my heart. My heart is wicked. And don't be upset about it and just see it for what it is, then you shall have love. But you want to see yourself as a beautiful woman with love. And you don't have love. And so you're mad about not having love. And so you just become a mad woman.
Yeah.
It gets worse. But nobody has love to give. It's not in the heart of mankind. That's why you must be born again, so that God can give you his love. And you need to love him so that he can love you. And when we love him, it's that love we live by. So why be frustrated with something you don't have? You can't even create love yourself.
Right.
And that's your thorn in your side, you might as well accept it. Don't be mad about it. That makes sense?
Yes,
Isn't that like an easier way to live?
it is.
Why be mad about something that you have no control over? So whatever it is that you're dealing with, just see it for what it is. It's from the devil. It's your gift from Satan. And Satan got in at a point where you were subject to him. You were angry about something. You overreacted, and you open up yourself so he can come in. And so there's nothing you can do about it but accept it. Don't judge it as good or bad. Don't judge it as right or wrong. Just see it for what it is, and it'll start to change. It would change by itself. But you've been taught you need to pray harder, you need to read the Bible more, you need to go out and feed the hunger more, you need to make more money, you need to be nice to people. You've been taught a lie. And you're never going to get better that way.